I'm sweating because I'm looking at this cop. He has got a gun on his hip, and I really am thinking about the worst. I'm like, should I hit it and run away? Guys, have you ever heard of stories of how black people get super tense and scared when a police officer asks for their license and registrations? Well, I'm here to tell you that that happens for a reason. This story takes us to 2013. I was 12 years old, still a little bucky, and I haven't introduced you to him, but I have my eldest brother. His name is Carlos. He is a wonderful man, you know? He's that type of person that everyone likes to be around. He's even more of a jokester than me, if you can believe that. But I'm more beloved, you know? Now, that's actually a joke. I think he's more beloved. But he's one of those people that, like, if you want to do something, say, man, I really feel like buying some tacos. He'll say, like, bet. He'll go get the car keys and he'll drive you straight to the place. He's that type of person. He's really not a mood killer. He likes to seek out adventure, if you know what I mean. And so this takes us back to when I was 12 years old, right? So we're just chilling home. I'm watching my cartoons as usual. And he comes up and he's like, Dave, you know how to drive, right? I said, no, of course I don't know how to drive. I'm 12. He's like, good. Go get dressed and meet me outside at the car. I'm like, okay. This wasn't unusual because my brother really liked to take us to adventures, you know, just go out with us. Even if it was just to hang out with his friends, we would just go. But so I get ready, I go to the car, and we start driving. We don't drive far. We used to live up in the mountains, right? So we continue to go up, and we reach this area where it's a big plain, right? Just full of sand. Let's say, like, I can't say exactly the diameters, but let's say it was large. Like, imagine a very large parking lot, right? It's that space, but full of sand. And he gets out of the car, and he's like, okay, come here. What do you mean? Come to this side. This man, we drove for like 7 minutes or 10. He didn't tell me anything, and he just tells me, get out of the car and come to the driver's spot. You can bet I was freaked out, but I'm like, okay, let's just go with it, right? So I go to the driver's seat, and he's like, okay, so you're gonna learn how to drive. Excuse me? Yeah, you're gonna learn how to drive. And that was a manual car, so we still had shifts, right? And so it wasn't an automatic car that I could just go to D to drive, you know? I really had to learn how to shift. So we spent, I think, a solid 10 minutes. He was just explaining the whole thing until it got to the point that we actually had to drive, right? So I started going slow, of course. I'm super terrified. But I drive. You know, I make a little turn. There were like rocks around, right? He was instructing me, like, go a little right and then to the left. You know, just basic stuff. And we're doing this, right? We're going, I'm learning, I'm actually having fun. It was very fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was cool because I've never had this opportunity. I used to drive in my dad's lap. He would let me get the steering wheel, but this was nothing like pressing the actual gas pedal. So we're doing this, and I don't know what I see, but I get this shock. And I start accelerating. Like, I push the gas pedal. We start going super fast. And I was going in the direction of the main street. So my brother just is screaming, he turned the car. He's not even saying hit the brakes. He's just saying, like, steer the wheel really fast. So I do that. We do like a big ass donut. Not a donut per se because I was really going fast, but our car does do the little, you know. It was so scary. And then we just, like, it goes, we stopped, and there was like sand all over, you know, like a little dust particles just floating around. We stopped. My brother starts laughing. I am there with my heart beating out of my ass. and this nigga laughing. And as if things couldn't get any worse, who do we see? Like, you know, in the movies when you're looking at the main character and he's coming, the dust is all in the way, and then he starts to appear, and the bad guy's like, oh, I'm done for. Yeah, that happened with a cop. Turns out we were in front of a fire station. And of course they aren't cops, but there was a cop there. For some reason there was a cop there, and we knew we were. I started to sweat. Of course I have to start sweating because we can't even lie. He's coming, I am in the I am in the driver's seat. Luckily, as I said, it was a plain area. No one was there. Like, there weren't kids around, there weren't people around. It was just like the area and then the fire station. So as he's approaching, my brother's just, shut the hell up and let me do the talking. Don't you say a damn thing. He knocks on the window. I drop it down. My brother's very charismatic, so he's like, hey, what's up, officer? How can I help you today? He's serious. At 12, I was pretty tall. You could have mistaken me for like a 17 to 16-year-old, right? But I had a baby face. You knew I was a kid, even if I was tall, right? So the officer is like, how old are you? My brother just told me not to talk. So I'm like, I don't know. I say I don't know. I can feel Carlos is just slapping himself on the face. He's like, I'm gonna need you to get out of the car and show me your license and registration. My nigga, I'm sweating because I'm looking at this cop. He has got a gun on his hip, and I really am thinking about the worst. I'm like, should I hit it and run away? You know, my brother is just, he's like, oh, officer, don't worry, I got it all here. He's like, are you his father? I'm like, no, I'm his brother, all of these things. And we did something, well, I'm not proud to admit it, right? But come on, if you were in a gang and you knew you were getting jumped and your gang had a lot of reputation, you would also say like, I'm part of this gang, and everyone would be afraid and not kick your ass. So my brother's like, he gets the documents. I told you, my father is actually a very highly ranked person, especially in the province we were living, right? He was a very well-known, liked man, and soldier man, you know? So he had a little bit of power. His name had power. So my brother's like, oh yeah, here's the license and registration. And this guy takes out my dad's, I don't know what it was. I really feel like it was a permit that my dad had for these types of situations, just to identify real fast. And he takes out my dad's document and he shows it to the cop. The cop sees it. He's like, oh, you know this man? He's like, yeah, he's our father. Okay. Yeah, but you can't be doing this. The guy's attitude totally, it just disappeared. The guy was like super friendly. He wasn't mad at all. He was talking to us like we were royalty, but he was still trying to reprimand me in a kind way. So he's like, you can't be doing this. You have to chill. If you want to learn how to drive, there are driver schools and stuff. My brother's like, oh, don't worry. He just lost control, but he was doing pretty good. And the guy's like, oh, son, but don't worry, you're on the right way. Your brother seems like a very generous man, and just continue learning, but take calm with the acceleration pedal. He's like, and I'm like, I can't even talk because I don't know what the hell's going on. And so he leaves us. I look at Carlos. He starts laughing. He said, I told you I would take care of it. And I'm just like, thank God for that. Thank God for that, because I do not know what would have happened to our asses if we didn't have that permit. But so we go home. It's pretty chill, and I actually learned how to drive from that, which is awful, because after that people started taking advantage that I knew how to drive, and they would just like tell me to park the car, tell me to take out the car, but it was fun still. I really enjoyed driving, and I still don't have my driver's license. I have to take care of that. I know it was a shorter video, but I wanted to post it and actually give you a little understanding of who Carlos is, because he's gonna be mentioned in a lot more stories. So If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like down below and comment if you want to see more. And subscribe to the channel to help our boy out. With that being said, peace out.